All right, chosen ones, good day. I'm going to title this video here called Motivation, Willpower, and Determination Without Proper Pacing and Strategy is a Recipe for Disaster. I'm going to start this video off by sharing with you some experiences that I've had. I've, I've done lots of marathons, a couple ultras, and I wanted to share with you the first marathon I attempted to run. I just got up one day and said, you know what, I want to do a marathon. So had no prior running experience. So it was like 5 weeks before marathon. I said, I'm just going to start practicing running. I had started off the first week, 5 days a week, 4 miles. The second week I jumped it up, increased my mileage up to um, 5 miles, six, seven, eight. And by the fourth week, I had got up to doing a 20-mile run. And I thought and mind you, I had no education, no running, no nothing. The most I did, I took a bottle of Gatorade with me, and I had when I was finishing this run, I heard this loud pop in my Achilles tendon, and immediately I went down. So I went to the doc. A doctor said, you know, you ruptured. Not only did you rupture your Achilles tendon, but you have stress fractures in your shins, and I advise you to stop running until your leg heal. And I said, well, I got this marathon a week and a half, and the doc said you need to wait until your legs are healthy. And I said to myself, no, let me just go ahead and try it anyway. I show up race day. I didn't, not only did I not finish the marathon, I couldn't even do 5 miles. I said to myself, I was just going to tough it out. This is one thing that can happen if you have the gift, you have a gift, you have a powerful tool, but if you don't know how to use a tool properly, it can you can use it and hurt yourself. The reason I wanted to bring that point up is because when we're motivated and we're driven and we have greatness on us, you have we have limits. And because we have limits don't mean that we're weak. It means that we have to learn how to pace ourselves properly, and we have to be very strategic with our output. In my case, the first one, I had mustered up all that motivation to train. And when I went out there and I was motivated and I hurt myself, I couldn't accomplish my goal, couldn't get the marathon in. And when I went into the job, they had noticed that I was walking with a limp. And in the process of noticing me walking with this limp, they ended up they ended up letting me go because um and they ended up letting me go, quote unquote letting me go, which was a constructive termination type of deal because they didn't want to be held accountable for it. And the moral of that story is think about your motivation, your drive, and your will If you look at anime and cartoons, they call it mana points. Your motivation and your gift, it can be depleted for a time if you don't deal with it properly. I know we hear these superhuman feats, where people are able to accomplish all type of things. Like you may have seen people who do ultra marathons or these grueling races, and even if you paid attention when they do those type of races, yes, there's a lot. They actually prepare for those races. It takes time to prepare the body, to strengthen the body up so that you have the physical resources and the mental resources to be able to complete those type of grueling tasks. Many times what we don't see in those endurance races is there are times when you see runners, they'll just start walking. They'll start walking, they'll stop to eat, hydrate themselves, or even just sit down and take a nap. You know, whereas the untrained person, we would think they just go out there for 200 miles or 100 miles straight and just muscle it out when they don't even do it. And so if you find yourself, if you kick, you kick on that overdrive gear, you have to pace yourself intelligently and know when when you have a limit, when to slow down and when to recalibrate. And I'll use this same analogy to certain environments that you may get in. Maybe it's on a work, on the job, or around the social circle. You have to know when you are approaching a limit. Sometimes you may not be aware of what the limit is, or you'll ignore the cues that the body is giving to you. So, to give you an example of this, is not paying attention to the cues that your body gives you. In doing distance running and marathon running, is something called bunking out, where either you don't have enough glycogen or you don't have enough nutrition. You will try to tell your body to run, and your body won't listen to you. Your body will automatically shut you down where you bunk out. The same thing can happen in certain circumstances where you can keep going and you can keep going. Your body will let you know that it's approaching a certain threshold that you ought not cross. If you in a certain situation where you are overwhelmed by the stress, you can reach a place where your mind will get blown. And on top of that, your mind can get reframed where your mind will create this type of split in your psyche. And if it reaches that point, it would create an encumbrances in between you and that gift in the way that you function. When you're in these type of stressful situations, pay attention to your limits. Sometimes you may have to pace yourself and take a break. I had to learn this the hard way. I had to learn it the hard way where I had to sit down the first marathon because I injured myself, had to take time off work, lost a job, lost money. And it took me a little while to actually heal the body and quote unquote get my motivation and mana points back, if it makes sense. Because what those are assets that can be depleted. Thank you for listening.